brain can process only one thought at any given time. Over the years, I've learned that's beneficial not only to my well-being, but also to the well-being of others, to keep that thought a positive one. As a child, I was a perfectionist with a strict type A personality. I always set high expectations for myself, and I pushed myself to be the best. At that point in my life, I hadn't yet come to the realization that failure is a very normal, necessary, and inevitable part of life. I struggled with facing my flaws, and I would often dwell on my mistakes, ashamed and embarrassed. I could not be satisfied unless I hit the bullseye every time. But in reality, that was impossible. One reason why I strive for perfection was to make up for my insecurities. In elementary school, I was a chubby child, and although the excess weight didn't seem to bother my parents or friends, I hated my body. In my eyes, I saw one flaw, one physical flaw, one flaw that I couldn't hide from anybody. I hoped I could make up for that by exceeding other things. In school, I always put forth 100% of my effort, but sometimes 100% wasn't enough to surpass other students like Nikki. Often, I felt like she was one step ahead, and I would work harder, usually motivated by jealousy, to be better. In 4th grade, a student in my class told me I only got good grades because I sat next to Nikki and cheated. This came as a shock, and I thought, is that true? After that, I went through a phase when I was obsessed with whatever people thought of me. Every comment, every criticism, and every compliment I would take to heart. And eventually, I began to realize I wasn't perfect. I wasn't perfect at all. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." I definitely gave my permission. I can stand up for myself because I began to believe what other people did. In middle school, I gained confidence, and I began to accept myself for both my positive and negative qualities. When some friends became part of the gifted program, and I didn't, I accepted it and moved on. I wasn't going to waste time being jealous over something I could not change. In 6th grade, I met more people than I had ever had a chance to before, and I connected with others who didn't necessarily share the same qualities of my personality. At this point, I recognized that maybe, just maybe, I could be happy with being me. My middle school years were like the first steps of eating a grapefruit. I peeled away through the skin, revealing who I really was and who I wanted to be. Next, it took a few bites to get used to the taste. I wasn't used to accepting imperfection and failure. I didn't know how to find the best in life. Now, I know that you don't always have to hit the bullseye to win the game. Apart from school, horses are a very important part of my life. I began the sport about 4 years ago, lessons on board horses only once a week, just like all the other girls at my level. Today, I continue that pattern at Palatine Stables, only now the other girls have fancy horses and parrots with big wallets. I could never understand why I couldn't be more like them. In 6th grade, I met a girl named Allie Donaldson in my transitions class. I never knew that 2 years from then, we'd have a great relationship, and that she would introduce me to the horse that changed my life. Allie needed to sell Indy, and I had the chance to shareboard him in a small barn. Over a mere 5 months, I've gotten to know this animal from the inside out. And I've realized that this sport isn't all about the competition and money. I can go out and ride in the trails, race bareback, jump 4 feet, or just spend a Saturday grazing and taking photographs. Those moments are pure bliss, and I never would have guessed that it would all start with a silly girl in class. You have to take every opportunity and run with it. Not all things are just as they appear from the first glance. You have to take a closer look sometimes and take that leap of faith. But of course, all good things have to come to an end. It's like with the grapefruit. Just as you begin to enjoy it, it squirts you in the eye. And where do you go from there? I say, forget about it. Live life to the fullest. Live here. Live now. I want to wake up each day seeing the bright side of life, because you never know. What if I don't wake up tomorrow? Can I say I've lived to the fullest? A little under a year ago, my family went on vacation with a few other family friends in Amish, Wisconsin. I was sitting with one of my friends in the cabin when his furious father stormed in abruptly. Patrick had lied to his father, and then right there in front of me, his father took his hand and repeatedly beat him in the face with each word that came out of his mouth. Do not lie to me. There sat the 14-year-old boy, taking each hit, wincing with pain and holding back tears. I was overwhelmed with too many emotions, and I rushed out, with tears streaming down my cheeks. I passed by my mother, and I told her what I had seen. She told me then that if I ever had any problem, no matter what its magnitude, I could always confide in her without suffering the brutal consequences that I had just witnessed. That experience made me realize that I can always trust my parents. My family will be there to support me every step of the way and help me when I fall, call me back when I wander out too far, hold my hand when I need it. I don't have to be afraid. I believe it's crucial to help others sometimes and put yourself in front of someone else, or put someone else in front of you. Recently, I volunteered in a therapeutic riding program for people with various disabilities. During one 6-week session, I worked with Mark, a man in his 30s who was mute. Mark always came to the barn with a smile spread across his face, ready to ride and bursting with excitement. In 6 weeks, riding had helped him develop a new sense of balance and communication. He could control a 1,000-pound animal without the struggle of sign language. It gave him a sense of freedom. Mark not only formed a relationship with the horse, but we also had a relationship. I was his sidewalker, guiding him and encouraging him when he doubted himself. When Mark succeeded, I was just as excited. At the last session, Mark got off and embraced me in a warm hug and communicated thank you in sign language. At that moment, I realized how much I had learned from Mark. Despite his challenges, he always saw the glass half full, and never did I see a frown on his face. Mark didn't allow his disability to hold him back from happiness. He inspired me to have a new outlook on life, and I never expected my volunteer work to benefit me and impact me in such a powerful way. Helping others can be done in more subtle ways too. I've learned that small acts of kindness, like donating food and clothes at church to those in need, supporting a friend through a loss, or just being there to listen, are very important. In the future, I plan on working well with others. Everyone has something positive to offer, but first you must give them a chance. Being friendly and open to others also opens up new doors and new possibilities. But another important thing I remember is to be myself around others. Dr. Seuss once said, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." I don't believe in changing myself to suit another person's vision of what I should be and not what I am. In the next 4 years, I hope to keep a balanced life with education, friends, family, my health, and horses. Sometimes it feels like your whole life is just a preparation for what is to come. In education, that is often the case. In high school, I plan to keep my grades up so I can get into a good college. Considering I haven't yet made a decision on my future career, keeping up with various different classes, like my honors classes in high school, will help make me a better rounded person with more opportunities. A successful 4 years in high school will prepare me to enter into college, pursuing the career of my choice. For now, I'm taking each day as it comes, and when the time arrives to make my decision, I'll have my opportunities open, whether it be in mathematics, science, or digital arts. Along with school, a healthy relationship with friends and family is something I hope to maintain in the years to come. We all need someone to have our backs, and I believe that friends are more important than money. But one thing I keep in mind when making friends is that my friends must be a positive influence on me. People that pressure others into negative behaviors, such as crimes and drugs, are no friends at all. And that brings me to my health. A healthy body goes hand in hand with mental and emotional well-being. Exercise, eating healthy, and staying away from harmful substances are always going to be a top priority, because we all have to take care of our bodies. Eating organic also helps the earth, which is always a concern of mine. I only have one body for the rest of my life, and I want to keep it running at its best. In the future, I hope to give my time to some of my talents and hobbies as well, such as photography, videography, and horseback riding. Digital arts play an important part in my life and allow me to express myself artistically. Capturing the tiny water droplets on a leaf, or the hooves of a horse kicking up grass, bring me a sense of satisfaction that nothing else can. This hobby could possibly turn into a future career. Working in the film or photography industry would be very exciting. I hope to continue having horses in my life as well, whether it be competitively or just for the pure enjoyment of the animal. Horses give me a break from everyday life and problems, while also helping me set personal goals in riding. This sport, while expensive, is also very much worth it. Once you have begun, it is impossible to walk away. Now, one of the most important goals I've set for myself is to be happy. I really do believe that is the meaning of life. That is what it means to win the game. Waking up each day with a positive thought, not allowing others to put me down, and most importantly, finding joy in myself. Happiness really is a personal choice. The power is in my hands. Too often people waste their lives complaining about the dark parts, while the beautiful parts slip right before their eyes. I appreciate each and every day, whether it is the beauty of the clouds at sunrise, or the rejuvenating breath of fresh air after the rain that reminds me I am alive, right here, right now. I can make each moment, each thought, each action worth it. My life will not be wasted.